Hey guys, welcome back to another review type deal. Sorry I haven't posted in a while. I've just been dealing with some stuff, work on top of getting into some other nonsense. Started 3D printing, that's kind of cool, but doesn't matter. I'm going to try to get more consistent. I thought we would start off with this. It was 2 days ago. Me, wife, and the kid went and saw, which was very strange to take a kid to a rated R film, but it was good. A lot of eye blockage, but hey, it was good. It was a good movie. Worth all the times I had to cover some eyes because it was it was pretty violent in some parts. But we're gonna be talking about Demon Slayer: Infinity Castle. Was it good? Absolutely. Was it great? Of course. Should you waste your money right now and leave and not watch this video and go watch it? 100%. It really was good. I've seen some general complaints online due to the length. It was very long. Don't get me wrong. It was a long movie. I've seen some other complaints that we'll get into in a minute. I'm going to call a spoiler before we actually do get into any of the complaints because they do directly correlate with some of the story. But I give it a solid 9. I'd go all the way to 10, but honestly, I do have one complaint myself, which we'll get into in the beginning later. But yeah, if you're just here to see what my general opinion is of it, I think it was a great movie. The animation was phenomenal. The story itself was very good. Per usual, it's Demon Slayer, right? You can't expect anything but not maybe the best, because obviously everybody has their own personal preferences on, story, plot, animation, whatever. Some people like the old style. They don't actually like the new style. But I do give it a 9. At minimum, a 9. I will go to 10, but I want to see the next movie to really cement my opinion. If you don't want any spoilers, I suggest just stop right here and you don't continue because we're going to get into the plot a little bit of the meat and grits. I don't know. Some kind of meat. We're going to be getting into it. So if you don't want the meat, don't stay in the kitchen, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, point is we're about to have spoilers. So if you don't want them, please check off. Go watch the film. Come back. We can talk about it together. So generally the story was very simple. It was picking up right at the right off where the Hashira training arc ended, where everybody was falling into the Infinity Castle or Infinite Castle. The name is pretty self-explanatory. It's an infinite castle, right? Everybody's falling in, all the Hashira, all the Demon Corps, right after a battle with Muzan. The teams are immediately right off the bat split apart. And Tanjiro and the current Water Hashira, who I always forget his name. I want to say Genya, but I think that's wrong. The current Water Hashira end up together. A couple of the others stick together, but at the end of the day, the main plot of this story focused on Tanjiro and the Water Hashira. A slight side story for Shinobu and Konoha. If you know these names, if you've seen Demon Slayer, you know these names. And then Inosuke had a very, very small role. And then also on Zenitsu and his old, I guess, not sparring partner, but he was training underneath the Hashira with him at the same time. So I guess dojo pal. I don't know. I guess fellow student. Dojo pal is great though. I love it. I'm gonna use it again. So yeah, it follows, 3 main stories that happen during it. We'll start with Zenitsu. Zenitsu, right off the bat, his character development is fantastic. He receives a letter basically saying that something happened to his master. I guess I won't spoil too much. We'll just go into general plot. And he immediately becomes almost a different person. He's not this whiny, crying little baby anymore who's just after women. He actually is in this fight to win and to show people that he's about that business. He's about the business, all right? And he does. He gives that business. It is one of the best things in the movie to see Zenitsu grow into the character that you're a badass, when you could never picture yourself doing that unless he was asleep. He is fully awake and a badass. It's awesome. Shinobu fights number 2 out of the, the 12 strongest demons. I always forget the name. But upper 3. She fights number 2, and some stuff happens. I won't give spoilers for that. But it's a little bit of emotional moment. It goes into some backstory, why Shinobu's the way she is, who killed her sister, and all that kind of stuff. And then the real meat and grits here, and this is where a lot of people's complaints come from, is that Tanjiro fights Enya, or Akaza. I can't remember this dude's name. I believe it's Akaza. He fights the guy who kills Rengoku. Akaza, excuse me, not Genya or whatever I said. It's Akaza. He fights Akaza, the one demon with the tattoos all over his arms and face. He fights him in hand to hand with the Water Hashira, and the fight is phenomenal. It was a little, not a little long. It was phenomenal, but this is where people are throwing their complaints. The main complaint is coming from Akaza's backstory. I can see where the complaint is coming from. It is very long. It's not 5 minutes. It's not 10 minutes. It's, I'd say, maybe 25, 30 minutes total. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was long, right? You can accept two things are reality, right? You can accept something as long, but you can also accept that it's good. It doesn't have to be one or the other, and that's how I felt about the Akaza backstory. It wasn't necessary to the story, but at the end, there's a character who dies, which I won't spoil that, who I felt should have had a more emotional toll on me than the fight with Akaza and his backstory, but they did it so well that you couldn't help but feel for him in a different way than in Demon Slayer Season 2, where they try to make you feel bad for that girl and her brother. It is a sad story for sure, but Akaza's hit differently. And I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe it was just the subject matter, and again, I'm not going to get into that. It was just a lot. It was very long. It maybe could have been shortened up a bit to make other watchers happy. But me personally, I loved it. I thought it was an excellent source of emotional punching. You know what I mean? Just punch, 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 emotion. You know what I mean? And it made the moments after his backstory even harder punches and punches and punches. You know what I mean? So it wasn't necessary. I can see where people are coming from, though. Again, I don't necessarily agree, but it doesn't mean I can't see where they're coming from, right? Playing devil advocate and all that kind of shit. And then, yeah, it was just, every storyline was fantastic. Tanjiro gets a new ability, gets beat up per usual. There's never a time where he doesn't get beat up. There's never a time where all three of them, Nosuke, Zenitsu, and Tanjiro don't get beat up. But that's the part of being, a lower rank of the Demon Corps. Not a Hashira. I mean, even the Hashira were getting their shit tossed. So, you know what I mean? It was very good, and I enjoyed it. The animation was a 10 out of 10. Forget the overall rating. The animation alone was a 10 out of 10. It was phenomenal. My only complaint is that I wanted to see more progression in the story. I understand that these movies aren't going to be like 10 years apart. I believe the next one is supposed to drop like next year, in like around the same time. So it's not like you're waiting 20 years for the next episode, right? Next movie, right? But at the same time, I feel like it could have progressed more into the Infinity Castle arc. We saw some good fights. We got some good backstory, but I feel like that's where I understand where they're coming from, is that none of it was bad, and I don't think any of it was unnecessary. But even just cutting it down by like 10 minutes a piece, like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here, just so you could push the story forward another 30 minutes, I think could have done the movie justice. But of course, I don't know what their plan is for the next movie, so maybe they ended it there because it was a proper stopping point for the progression that happened, right? Like, you don't want to, like, have the movie end in the middle of a fight or something, right? So maybe they have things lined up directly after the end of this that wouldn't have flowed seamlessly with the full movie. I'm not 100% sure. That's just a guesstimation. But if that is the case, I understand. But I did feel like we got a lot of meat and potatoes. We got a lot a lot of meat, potatoes, and fights and story, but the plate wasn't big enough. You know what I mean? Like there was all this great stuff, and then the plate was real small, so you only got like this much progression in the story when we could have got, this much progression in the story. Give me a bigger plate, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I want a bigger plate. I want more. And for you to make me wait a year is messed up. I need it now. That's how I feel right now. It was that good. I'm serious. If you're still here, if you haven't seen it yet, I highly, highly, highly suggest you go see it tomorrow, or sometime over the weekend, whenever you can. It's worth it. It was so good. I didn't cry personally, but I know my wife was crying multiple times during it. I was still feeling emotions, but I wasn't crying. I'm not a big crier unless it's Big Hero 6. I don't know. That movie gets me, dog. Or the Rengoku fight. That hits, dude. That's like a punch through the gut if you want to be on the nose about it. It was just good. It was just so good, and it was very, very much worth the wait. Just give me a bigger plate next time, and we'll call it even. I want more progression, because I've read bits. I don't want to say the entire manga, because I'm not gonna lie. After I watched the first 2 seasons, I was like, all right, I'm gonna hop into this, and I kind of skipped a bunch, even though you shouldn't do that. I just wanted to see kind of where it ends, because I'm not a spoiler guy myself. I'm like, I can't wait. I need to know how this ends. So I do know some things that are coming, and I'm very excited about them, and I want them to happen. I want them to happen now. I'm tired of waiting. So we'll see. But yeah, at the end of the day, good movie, great watch. If you need a recommendation that will put somebody on anime, put them on Demon Slayer, get them in the movie theater, and make them watch it, because they'll be in. They'll be hyped. I cannot suggest how much. I cannot emphasize enough that this movie was good and it's worth the watch. If you have a different opinion than me, that's perfectly fine. I understand. I'm not going to judge you. Just like, I didn't think Solo Leveling was Anime of the Year last year, but hey, that's life, right? This movie was great in my opinion. If you disagree, leave it in the comments below why you think I'm wrong. I'm glad for discussion. I mean, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. It's your opinion, right? I did see a lot of unnecessary hate on it already by people who I don't even think have seen it. But that started to happen after Demon Slayer blew up in popularity. It went from this, oh, this is my anime. Oh, it's mine. Oh, nobody else's. Demon Slayer. And then once people got it, then all the hipsters and the, I found it first guys come out, and then it's like, I hate this anime. It's so basic. The animation isn't that good. It's like, shut the fuck up. It happens with everything, right? Music, video games, anything that gains popularity, all of a sudden the hipster community that found it first hates it, and it's mainstream now. It's just stupid. If you have genuine criticisms of it, I 100% understand. I myself have one, right? But yeah, so get to the movie theaters, get yourself some tickets. This is not sponsored. I just thought it was that good, and we will see you all in the next one. Remember to like, subscribe. Peace!